Um, and then from there, moving through high school, I played sports, and I came to a point where I needed to kind of make a decision, which I think a lot of times, I mean, I think everything is just making decisions, really. Like a lot of small decisions will influence the way you make your big decisions. But it came to a point where I needed to choose, that I want to continue on with athletics, or did I want to really pursue video and film? And again, I was lucky to know that film was what I wanted to pursue when I was very young. And from there, I ended up moving out of athletics and into film specifically. But at that point, I realized that I needed something to shoot, because in high school, you don't always have access to everything, right? You don't have access to actors. You don't have access to budgets and certain things. So for me, I figured I would shoot what made sense, which was athletics. So I moved into shooting football games, basketball games. It was action. It was everything felt bigger than anything I'd ever shot before. So that gave me a lot of room and space to play in the editing room. And from there, I felt it was important to find ways to incorporate film into my day-to-day life. To know, honestly, for me, it was to prove to people that I was very serious about what I wanted to do. I joined something called FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America. I know some high schools have something called DECA. I think it's very, very similar. And I actually didn't do great in high school, but I excelled in the extracurricular activities such as FBLA and DECA. And again, all of this was kind of prior to thinking about, will I be able to make money off of this? Is this something I can do? Is this sustainable? I think finding my love for it, again, was what I was very lucky for, in financial benefit and financial gain came as an afterthought. But that thought obviously kicked in when I was in high school, and the very stressful conversation of what do you want to do started to come about. And it felt like a lot of people around me had ideas what they wanted to do, and they had a very clear path to get there. And I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't necessarily feel that I had a clear path at that time. Again, coming from a city that has nothing to do with entertainment, it was just it took a second for me to really understand whether or not it was going to be possible. But again, back to what I said from the start, I thought it was true and I thought it was possible, and I really did truly feel I was doing something that nobody else was doing, which, whether that was accurate or not at that time, it has become true later on in my life. So from there, shooting sports, I realized that sports kind of led me into this world of, how can I make money off of this, right? So, you shoot every game, and I'm editing highlight tapes, and our football team happened to go to state that year. So I cut together a 40-minute edit from everything that had happened that season, and sold it back to the parents, and like little things that kind of just made sense. Again, at the time, this wasn't necessarily me thinking bigger picture business, but it was always figuring out what's next. And I've learned that that's something that I've taken very seriously, is what is that next move and what can I do after this, which I think it's a blessing and a curse. Honestly, in the creative industry, it's very easy to get caught up in um, not enjoying the project you're working on, because the project you do next is going to be much better. I would argue that that's probably not just the creative industry, that's any industry, anything that you're passionate about.